Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing out there? Today is a very important day. We have a man he's on point. Listening to this guy, I was just briefly listening to him, and Dr. Umar Johnson, who's a school psychologist and Pan-African Studies. Did I get that right?
Pan-Africanist.
Oh, my fault. I forgot the this part. Pan-Africanist Studies. And what he's doing here in Pennsylvania, and he's teaching parents and our kids how to be responsible when they're going to school. And also what I see, the little that I know, is that he's making a total transformation of the school system, which is needed. How you doing, Doctor?
All is well, my brother. Thanks for having me. Shout out to Islandtown and the whole Lehigh Valley.
So talk to us. What's going on with you, and what exactly are you doing?
Well, right now, I'm still on a crusade to educate our parents, to wake them up and make them conscious of just how their decision-making in school can affect their children's outcomes. Specifically, I'm on a crusade to make sure our parents are thoroughly educated and knowledgeable about special education, miseducation, juvenile incarceration, and psychiatric medication. I want our parents to have the background information that will allow them to make responsible decisions about their children's academic future. A lot of our parents are given permission for their children to be evaluated for special education, and they're given permission for their children to be evaluated for ADHD medication without any true knowledge of what special ed is, what ADHD is, what the criteria are. And so ignorance is the weapon that's being used against our parents.
That is true, and I was listening to you out in the other room, and you were talking about having these representatives. They're not lawyers. They're representatives, advocates for the parents, which I believe is so important because, as you were saying, what the system does that's not for us, it takes advantage of our ignorance, and they send home these papers, and parents are thinking that the school is really benefiting their best behalf, when in all reality they're not, and we do find our kids on these medicines or in these alternative schools. Talk to us about that.
Well, one thing we want the parents to understand, we're not blaming you for the fact that you're being manipulated, but we do need you to understand that you're being manipulated. Most parents would ask the question, why can't I trust my child's school? Shouldn't a parent be able to trust the teacher? Shouldn't a parent be able to trust the principal? You should be, but you can't. You have to understand, in a racist society, the institutions serve the status quo.
Yes.
No institution in a racist society is designed to eliminate the racism.
Yes.
There's no institution.
It's embedded in the system.
It's embedded. So the school's job to support racism is to keep black children at a disadvantage vis-a-vis their white peers. So the school's job is to intentionally undereducate black youth so they cannot compete with white youth for control of America's society.
So what are you doing specifically? Because you were talking about the seven
committees on the Parent Association.
Okay, talk to us about that.
National Independent Black Parent Association.
Okay, and what exactly is that?
That is a national organization that I'm starting to organize parents in every school district where our children exist, so that we can bring change in the school district, fight for change. So we have the special ed committee, we have the discipline committee, policy committee, finance committee, social support committee, parent advocacy committee, and homeschooling. So these seven are core, they're key. If we can get a hold of the special ed, get a hold of the discipline, get a hold of the money, get a hold of the bylaws that regulate the district, help the parents out when they go to school for these meetings, we'll be in a better position to improve learning for our children.
What do you think has happened that we find, and I'm saying people of color, not just blacks, because it's really people of color, and this is for all of you guys out there, because you got to see this, that it's not just a black and white thing. It's two things. It's people of color and also an economic thing.
Yes, you do have poverty, and you do have the same discrimination that black children face being faced by other non-white children. But we do have to clarify.
Yes.
The outcomes for black children are worse.
Oh, no question.
Even
we're at the bottom of we're at the bottom of the totem pole.
Although there can be concerted efforts, there's still going to have to be a focused effort on rescuing black children in particular because of our unique history in the country, and as well as the unique marginalization tactics that keep our children where they are. You got to recognize something. We're the only unwanted, unintended citizens in this country. We are the unintended citizen. We were never supposed to be here long term.
Break that down. I like how you said that, and I understand it. But for our listeners,
one of the reasons why Abraham Lincoln never wanted black men in the Civil War is he knew that if he let them fight to free America from the Confederacy threat, he would have to validate them as citizens. I cannot keep you free and you still think you're going to treat me like a slave. It cannot happen. And because he wanted to colonize blacks, he wanted to move us out of the country, all of us, to Haiti, Liberia, other places. He said, if I let them fight, that gives them a stake in the nation. But he had no choice because the Confederacy was whipping the Union's butt. And we're the reason that you have a United States right now. Had we never entered that Civil War, had not 200,000 of us volunteered that, this would be the Confederate States of America.
I love this because you're talking about some history that is totally denied.
Yes.
I love this.
Yes.
Most people don't know that Abraham Lincoln didn't want to give us our rights.
Not at all.
And also wanted to ship us up out of here.
Exactly.
I love this.
Exactly.
Continue.
But in Steven Spielberg's film on Lincoln, where he sanitized Lincoln and made it look like he was this great advocate for black freedom, he went out his way to try to preserve freedom. Remember now, the Emancipation Proclamation only freed slaves in rebel states. Remember, Kentucky had slaves. They was in the Union. Lincoln did nothing. Delaware had slaves. They were in the Union. Lincoln did nothing. Missouri had slaves. They were in the Union. Lincoln did nothing. Also keep in mind, during the Civil War, when Union generals would come across a plantation, the Union generals would free the slaves. Lincoln demanded them to return the slaves to their owners during the Civil War.
Wow.
How in the hell can you say Lincoln freed the slaves?
Wow, that's deep. That is so deep. And it's so needed because, as you said, what I like how you use that word, how we like to desanitize things.
Yes.
So that it's appealing to a segment of society.
Yes. Make them, they want to make every white hero look like a saint. None of them were saints. None of them were saints. Washington used to get the teeth pulled out of the mouths of his slaves whenever his would fall out. And you ain't had no dentistry back then. He would get the teeth yanked out and put it in his mouth. Most of his teeth were the teeth of his slaves. George Washington.
Wow, that's a deep
who was also a very popular rapist of black women. That's why you got so many Washingtons. Thomas Jefferson, very popular rapist of black women. And America's first major pedophile. Remember, Sally Hemings was only 12 years old when he started raping her. And he was so much of a sick man, he would take her with him to Europe. So he wouldn't even leave her here to get a break from him. She had to get on the boat with him so he could fondle her over in Europe. Thomas Jefferson, the great statesman. You see? And one of his half-black children that was born of him raping a woman ran away. This character sent the slave patrols after his own children and brought them back and almost whipped them to death.
Wow.
Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, because I lived in Virginia for 30 years. I was raised here, but I went in the military. Lived in Virginia for 30 years. And when they found out that Thomas Jefferson did have half-black kids, there was this big stink over it with the Jefferson family because they didn't want to recognize them, so they had to do a DNA test on that, where they, even though they had the DNA test, they had the results that said, yes, we are a part of the family, they still want the court to try to deny that.
Right, you know why? Because they don't want to give them none of Jefferson's estate.
Exactly.
You're talking about multi-million dollars. They want to make sure that they cannot lay no claim to any of the wealth of his estate. Same thing the Native Americans did. When they started getting the casinos and they got on their feet, that's the first thing they did. They all passed a proclamation that no African American, no matter how much Native American blood you have, can ever lay claim to any of the estate. But you still got Negroes running around talking about I'm half Indian, I'm half this. Yeah. Well, guess what? I have Native American on both sides of my family. But I don't make no issue with that because I'm African. I may have some of something else, but I'm African. We're the only people who will find 5% Irish and say I'm half Irish. You got 2% Jewish. Now I'm Jewish. You see, we're the only people who do that.
Why is that? But why is that?
We don't see anything worthy of our skin, our culture, our history. We always looking for an out. That's why the United States government came up with biracial. Now, mind you, white men been raping black women since the 17th century. They never called the product of a black man and a white woman, or a white man and a black woman, biracial. Yep. It was called Negro and worse. You understand? All of a sudden, we come to the year 2000, to the 21st century. So we've been here 500 years. We hit the 21st century. Now we have biracial. So after 500 years, you now want to acknowledge those of biracial parentage as biracial. Frederick Douglass was the product of a rape. Nobody never called Frederick Douglass biracial. They called him the N-word, just like the rest of us. Why did they do that? Because it's a tool of divide and conquer, separate and rule.
Yes.
I want to get you to think that I'm treating you differently than the one who ain't got a white mother. This is the game they play.
Yes.
You see, so the brothers who got a white mom might think they're in a different boat, but you're not.
Yes.
They still see you like the rest of us. They're just using this identity as a weapon to create division within the community.
And that's what's going on today.
And that's what's going on. That's why we got to reject it.
Thank you. I was going to say that.
I tell the biracial, you ain't biracial. What you talking about biracial? Your hair nappier than mine. Yes, you have a white mother. Yes, but you're black. You see that? You have a white father, but you're black. And I'll tell you something. White fathers are more honest than white mothers about that. Mm-hmm. I noticed that when the biracial African has a white mother, she's a little bit conflicted about admitting to that child that they're African. She almost raises them with the biracial identity, wants them to think they half white. But when his father white, he's more honest. He'll let his daughter know, listen, you black. I might be white, but the world gonna see you as black. You need to own it and you need to understand it. Doesn't mean he like black people.
Right.
He just wants his children to know,
to be prepared.
Whereas the white mother, she's more
nurturing.
Yeah, you're half white. Let the world. Ain't nobody judging
you.
First of all, America don't do halves. The world don't do halves either.
No.
You're black and you're not. We're the dominant species. So when you're the dominant species, even if you got a little bit of it, it still takes.
Yeah, because what was during the slave time? What was it?
One drop
of blood.
You could be 1/20th. 1/20th.
Considered all black.
And why did the white? Because some people say, well, wow, they were so racist that they said 1/20th. Yeah, they were racist, but you know why they said 1/20th? Because technically, if you have an ancestor anywhere back for 20 generations, it is very likely that their genotype can reproduce itself in your chromosomes, and you will come out with a child who look black, even though you white and the mom white, the dad white, and the child black.
Right. That's going
There's a movie called Skin. I don't know if you saw it.
No.
You got to see the movie Skin. It's based on a true story. 2 white parents who kept having black children in South Africa. You got to see it. I saw that the independent film down in Philadelphia. The white woman had a black child. The father thought she cheated. Got it tested. Found out, no, that's your baby. I said, how are we having black children? We both white. I think there was Jews on top of that. So then they had another baby. Guess what? That baby came out black too. There's a term, something like polyogenesis, when 2 white folks can have a black baby.
Yes.
Because in every last one of their bloodlines, one of us is there.
Right.
And every last one of them.
Yeah, of course.
Especially Southern European immigrant. If you Jewish, Irish, Italian, Greek, give me a break. You understand? You know you got a black ancestor. That's why your skin is darker than the other Europeans. Because remember, in America, up until 1940, if you was Jewish, Irish, or Italian, you were not considered white. There's a graveyard. There's a cemetery for enslaved Africans in D.C. where they have Italians buried in a slave graveyard. Italians are in there because the white people didn't let them get buried with them. Now, see, now it's just...
That.
Yes!
I didn't know that.
Yes!
Wow.
They would come and ask to bury their dead in our graveyard because white folks say you're not Anglo-Saxon, you're not blue blood, you're not blue vein. You. That's why they used to call them... what was the word they used to call... Guineas. That's why they call Italians Guinea. From Guinea in Africa.
Oh, yeah.
Yes! It's a derogatory term saying that you black.
Oh.
Yes.
Listen, you getting this, man. This is some powerful stuff because to me, I like how you said that problem with black people is that we're insecure about ourselves. And part of that insecurity about ourselves is because we don't know our history.
Yes.
We deny our history. We don't understand that we come from a rich background of kings, queens, and all the great math, philosophy, logic, comes straight out of Africa. I think that's important that people such as yourself continue to do what you do, because someone has to tell the story.
True, but there's another critical component with that. Because keep in mind, we know people who know their knowledge of self and are still wanting to be a part of the status quo.
Yes.
You know why? Because of opportunity.
Yes. Oh, I agree with that.
You see.
Thinking of Ben Carson right now.
Yes. And I can't stand him. And I used to look up to that brother
and
when I was a
Clarence
young
Thomas
boy.
used to be a Black Panther. A lot of people don't know that. That brother was a Black Panther. Look, you shocked too.
Are you serious?
Yes, he was a Black Panther.
Do you know that man is married to George Bush's cousin? And do you know that Clarence Thomas is an ordained minister who married Rush Limbaugh, the most racist radio personality in the world? He married him.
Because of status, we will forget who we are.
Exactly. and that's one of the central contradictions of Black existence. Are you struggling against the system to destroy the system? Or are you struggling against the system to improve your place in the system? Take Jesse Jackson and Al. You can't tell me when they was 30 that they thought they would be the sellouts that they are.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes. Yes.
But when they was presented with certain opportunities to improve their status over their commitment to the people, their allegiance was with their status. Are you following? That's why in this freedom struggle, you have to study your comrades. Because I got to study you to see, is this brother in this for the people? Or is he in this because he want to run for office 5 years from now? Is he in this because he's trying to get some honeys? Is he in this because he just had the egotistical need to be in control of something because he never had no power before? You follow me?
Yes, sir.
There's psychological reasons, financial reasons, political reasons why people do this fight. So you have to study us. I tell people when they meet me, study me. You got to make sure I'm real for me. Otherwise, you ain't going to go hard for me. You got to know that I'm doing this for no other reason. So when I go somewhere to start a chapter, I let them know I'm not trying to run for office. You'll never see me do that. You'll never see me marry no white woman. There's a lot of stuff you'll never see me do. So I'm telling you right now, this is what I said. So you ain't got to wonder, is he just doing this because he want to be a U.S. senator? Because people do that.
Yes,
most politicians.
No question.
Think about it. The average Black politician, Obama included.
Yes.
How did they get known? By working in the hood.
Yep.
I'm serving the people. Yep. Obama ain't served Black folks since he got elected.
Yeah, most people don't know that the black family has declined so far as economically under Obama. When I tell people that, they go crazy.
Listen,
everything, all our numbers
statistics
have dropped.
under Obama are worse than they were under George Bush.
Yes.
They're worse under Obama.
Yes.
Why? Because of neglect.
Yes.
Benign neglect. I'm just going to act like y'all don't even exist. But a lot of that is our fault, brother. I'm not going to put it on Obama. You know why? Because he never articulated any plan of assistance for Black folk. We're the ones who projected onto him this immature, imaginary, Christ-like energy. You understand? We made him the Christ.
We were happy to see one of our own.
Yes. But it wasn't just a symbol. We thought the symbol had substance behind it.
Right.
And then we erroneously got on television and made ridiculous statements such as, he don't have to do nothing for me. I'm just happy he Black. You don't tell white folks that. You don't get on TV and with Anderson Cooper and Wolf Blitzer and Don Lemon and say, I don't care if he don't do nothing for me. I'm just happy he Black. And we wondering why we dead last in America right now. It's so bad for Black folks, man. The incarceration, the recidivism, and then we look at our returning citizens. They get out of jail, come back to the hood. They want to do better, but nobody giving them no opportunity. There's nothing for them. And some of our best minds are the returning citizens. Them brothers in jail. Even though jail was something horrific that they should have never experienced, many of them used it to their benefit. They detoxed. See, when you outside of the society, you can see it better.
Right.
They saw how they were being used. They saw them into society. So many of them brothers educated themselves. So by the time they come back out, they got a degree greater than my doctorate could ever be. You understand? But with no opportunity. Do you know how frustrated that makes you? When you've repaired yourself psychologically, but you're not given an opportunity to repair yourself economically. We have to move from civil rights to silver rights. We have to transition from protest to political power.
We dropped the ball because that's where Martin Luther King, he went through that.
He was evolved. That's why he was murdered.
I was going to say that.
Dr. King was killed because he was about to set off an economic revolution. King was killed because he went from civil to the money.
Yes.
If you saw the movie, and I didn't think it was a very good movie, but it was good for people who don't know the civil rights story, Selma.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? When you see Selma, there's a scene where he's in jail with Abernathy, Reverend Abernathy. And he says, Ralphie, what am I doing? What good is desegregating the lunch counter for a black man where he can go into the store to eat, but he ain't got the money to pay for his meal? There's a scene. That was the only scene in the movie that showed Dr. King's true agenda.
Yes.
It was economic.
Yes.
See, people don't understand King. The civil rights movement was a platform. He was setting it up for the economy. You got to build the house from the ground. People wanted King to go straight to the... No, let me build this. Let me make it look like it's for the vote. Let me make it look like it's for deseg. Mm-hmm. Let me make it look like we want to live with the white folks. But I'm setting up a paradigm. Let me build this brick by brick. But the top is going to be that economics. But he had to go slow. But even though he went slow, they still got him.
Oh, they had.
You got to realize there's two black men in American history who were more popular than the president. Only two. Frederick Douglass was more popular globally than Abraham Lincoln. Dr. King, yes, Dr. King was more popular than Kennedy and Lyndon Baines Johnson.
Wow.
And when you get a black man who's more powerful than the president, he got to go. You talk about enemy of the state?
Yeah.
King was that.
Say that, yeah.
Listen, King was so powerful, he could snap his fingers and the white folks would move. You understand? Not just the black folks. He snapped his finger at the white folks because he was planning the breadbasket movement where he was going to take black and white poor people to D.C. They was going to live there. It wasn't no one-day Million Man March. This was a movement. They were going to live on the mall in D.C.
I remember that.
And embarrass the hell out of America.
Right.
And say, you so great, and look at all your poor people with no food, clothing, and shelter. America said, we can't let him do that. We let him do that, he undermines everything we claim. We stand for. April 4th, 1968. Boom. And guess who murdered Dr. King? A Latino hitman for the Memphis, Tennessee Mafia. And the Green Berets were the backup shooters. The Green Berets of the United States Army were across the roof to shoot him if the Mafia failed. You want to know why the Mafia never been destroyed? The Mafia is a paramilitary, paragovernmental operation. The Ku Klux Klan. Why are they not on the terrorist list? Right. The Ku Klux Klan has murdered more black folks than any other organization you can name, but they can still walk downtown Allentown and get they permit to march. Mm-hmm. Why are they not on the terrorist list? Because they are a paragovernmental, paramilitary organization. And see, we don't realize that all these white hate groups, they are subsidiaries of the United States government.
Oh, no question. No question.
They subsidiaries. Whenever they need them, they call them right on up.
That's powerful.
Remember now, they used Lucky Luciano during the Panther era to flood the community with dope.
Not just that, they used them during the when we had World War II.
Yes.
They went straight to the Mafia.
Yes.
Which told me that you just gave them permission to do what they want to do.
Let me drop the bomb on you right now. Why do you think the Pope here?
Tell me, sir.
Why is he here?
First of all, you don't deal with the Mafia unless you deal with the Roman Catholic Church. Right. Are you following me? Mm-hmm. He ain't here just to be here.
They are in bed with one another.
There's things that got to be worked on economically. Remember now, what's America's #1 product?
Guns.
No, crack. Drugs is the #1 commodity in America. The economy of this country, you would have another stock market crash if you don't have dope. Dope supports the economy. Why? Because nothing needs to be purchased every day except dope. You understand?
I agree.
You don't need a car every day. You don't need a computer every day. You don't need clothes. But in order for the economy to stay healthy, people got to buy all day. That's why I say the Dow lost 10,000 points. Dow Jones, because continuous consumption. But think about it. What do you own that you need to consume every day besides food? Which you ain't got to go to the store every day to get.
Right.
And that's why they don't want you to grow your own either, by the way, because that cuts out the middleman. Drugs.
I agree with that. You just educated me. My wife was in the military, and she was a part of the Navy where they used to stop the drug boats from coming to the United States. And there was pictures where this room would be filled with nothing but bales of
The
cocaine.
military is the transport.
This was the thing that got me, because you're on point right there. They would stop off in another country in South America and give half of the room of dope to this country, third world country, and then bring the rest to the United States. And I was like, why were they doing that? Why would you give another country dope that we just took from the drug dealers? Something's going on.
It's the only thing on the planet that is guaranteed to sell 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, rain, sleet, snow, shine, or Katrina. It's the only thing. Y'all follow me? Remember now, capitalism, you need a product.
Yeah, you got, and it doesn't matter what the product is.
It got to be bought all the time.
As long as it's being bought.
Dope is that. Why did America want to invade Colombia? Not because they were selling dope, but Colombia didn't want to invest the dope money into the stock market. America said, if that money ain't coming through here, then you can't sell. You can sell drugs. You just got to do it without permission.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Why did they go into Afghanistan? Not for no bin Laden. Afghanistan is the #1 poppy producing nation on the face of the earth. Yes. That was about dope. Yes. In fact, most
more is being produced now.
Yes.
Than ever before in Afghanistan.
Africa, my brother, is one of the biggest drop-offs for white man's dope. He making a killing in Africa by keeping our people doped up and oppressed. Same thing in the hood. You see, and that's why he want the marijuana piece. He's going to legalize the marijuana, because once you legalize the marijuana, you cut out the underground market. So he can control the flow. This is all about money. Money, drugs, dope, power. That's why America was built.
Touché. Well,